Look,
You didn't put me in the drawing.
we're going to go back to that.
All right, if you're thinking about
Okay,
coming
we
to
can.
the
Go ahead.
KW Wealth Roadshow, I want to talk to two groups of people. The first one, I'm going to tell you who this isn't for. If you already have all the passive income, the wealth, tax strategies, and you're crushing it financially, this workshop isn't for you. Everyone else, listen up. You're going to spend 5 or 6 hours doing nothing but understanding your money more, your taxes, and your plan. And I want you to ask yourself a question as you think about this right now. When was the last time in your entire life that you spent 6 hours on your money? If you're like most people, that answer is never, right? We'll spend 20 hours planning a dream vacation, but we won't spend 6 hours planning the most important thing in your entire life, which I believe is your financial well-being, because that gives you all the options. You're going to leave with at least $10,000 of tax strategy. I promise you, if that doesn't happen, you come to me, I'll give you your money back for your ticket myself. You're going to understand the flows of money. When money comes into your world, how should that come out of your business, into your personal, and how do you know when to invest and what to invest in? We're going to look at different asset classes, right? We all think real estate, we default to single family homes. The reality is there's a lot more asset classes than single family houses. There's everything from debt, commercial, triple net commercial buildings, natural gas royalties. There's tons of different options there. We're going to explore all of that. We're going to give you tools, calculators, and resources so that when you come across a great investment, you know exactly what to do with it. Don't miss our next workshop in your area.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but we're going to talk a little bit before we get to that, talking about wealth, and we're going to go back to that one. Did you have mine?
Yes, you go.
No, do you have mine?
Oh, keep going.
Thank you. We'll go back to that. All right. I'm going to talk about a few things. How many think you're very literate when it comes to your financial well-being? He's knocking it out of the park. Kimbra? You know, it's interesting. We teach in our society. I have a master's in education, right? So I will talk about education. I've committed, and I spent lots of time in education. It's amazing what we teach in schools in the United States, and our priorities and our concepts. And yet the one thing we really never teach is financial literacy. In fact, it wasn't really taught in my house much as well. So how many of you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? If you hadn't, it's a great book for the concept, and because it's the trap that we run into. So in my household, I was told to what? Go to school, get good grades, go to college. Oh yeah, take debt out to go to college, right? So you can go get a good job, pay back the schooling that you get. And if you really wanted to measure success, we'd say go take out debt to accumulate things. Some of you might be on that same trajectory your whole life. But Robert Kiyosaki, his dad, his biological father, which was a good father, was a superintendent of schools. He was a highly successful person, and yet he was financially illiterate. And you're like, ooh, that's kind of harsh to say, because he went and got a good job and constantly was in a battle. And so he had a rich dad, a mentor, somebody who took him on and spoke to him about financial wealth. And this is really, if you haven't read the book, it goes into a lot of details, but he talked a little bit about this concept, and you've heard me talk it. And this is just something that I really want everybody to understand and we're going to talk about the path and the flows of money. This is going to lead into our wealth conversation with the class, right? Kiyosaki says we have 4 areas that we show up in, right? First, you can be the employee, you have a job, or you can be self-employed and you own a job. You guys are all here, meaning you're self-employed. Some of you are working on a business aspect of this real estate and or could have another business, but meaning is you have to get up every day, and if you want to make money, you got to do work, you got to do activities. 95% of the population lives on this side, by the way. I mean, I got to get up and I got to work, I got to work, I got to work, I got to work. And that's a great thing, right? We know we have to generate the flow and we got to get up. We talked about lead generation as an activity. The moment, if you're in real estate, you stop lead generating, what happens?
You die.
Sharon, what happens? You stop making money in this business. You'll have some referrals that'll trickle in, but we know we got to get up and we got to do the activities and we have to do the hustle. A lot of people will say is, oh, I just want to get a job so I have a secure paycheck. And that to me is the biggest myth, lie that you've ever been told. I'd rather be counted on my own actions and what I believe, never dependent on somebody else. Because if you get in and hustle for somebody else and you're really good at your role and you have a job, who you making money for? Yeah, the business owner, right over here. And we can make it. And then on the right side is a business owner. You own a system that works for you, that enables you to go hire people and to create opportunities. And the next is an investor, where your money truly works for you. It's called passive income, right? Where money flows in without anything you have to do. You go to bed and you wake up and you go, oh, I made money. So Gary puts it in this form, and he talks about the opportunity. Of course, we're going to put it in a little profit share, because profit share is one of those things that if you connect people to it, it's a way to make passive income, cost you nothing but an introduction. And yet, right, it's the same concept. You have human capital or you have capital assets, and it creates cash flow. And when you make money, you got 4 options. What's your option number 1? What do you, most of us really good at? Spend it. My wife and I, we excel at the spending part. Anybody else good at spending? The rest of you are? Okay, good. And we're really good at spending. What else can you do with it? You can, yeah, we can invest it, we can hold it, and we can donate it. We can give it away. And all this is when we talk about, right? Money is good for the good it can do, by the way. This is not agreed. Money will only reveal, when you have a lot, will only reveal your character, right? If you don't have any, it'll also reveal your character, right? So it's just a tool in our lives. Yet following a plan and a model where to put into it, where you either spend it, you hold it, you invest it, and you donate it. We're all in positions where we can make a really good amount. Now, they don't have the tax formula in here, and which is get to. This is another great book too, by the way, Tax-Free Wealth, which we're going to talk about a little bit in this class as well. And then when you do get it, when you invest it, you got 2 choices. You can lend it, you can own it. And then each one of those gets you to your category. And we have the greatest ability to make money because we're in what business? Real estate. But what does that mean? What does that mean we're in real estate when it comes to putting our money somewhere? We have access to what? We have access before anyone else to the opportunity that presents itself. Right? Sharon, what are some of the greatest deals you come across? Yeah. Yep. Gary says every home that we show up in, we first should be saying, hey, should I buy this themselves? I'm putting Sharon on the spot. You might get her a microphone, right? Because it's real, but it's real. No, it's real stories, right? Sharon had, you had some clients that were looking to sell their home because they wanted, what did they needed? They needed cash.
They need the cash.
And
for
they
their
ended up being what?
graduation for their grandson.
Yeah. And they ended up being
My tenant.
the
3
tenants.
years.
And so how many years?
3.
3 years. So you bought the property, it cash flowed. They were willing to, they saw the numbers. It was really transparent. It was a win for you and a win for them. 100%. This is not taking advantage of anybody. Those are the opportunities that we run across if we're doing the lead generating and the activities that we can walk through in this industry. And you knew your numbers to know if it was going to work or not, because it's all a formula. I look back at my career and my life and I say one thing. I should be so much further down the road. So much further. Anybody else feel that way? Because of all the opportunities. Warren Buffett has made some money. Would you all agree? Everybody know who Warren Buffett is? They were talking about Warren Buffett about regret. Okay, this was one of the wealthiest persons in the world. And he talked about regret. And you know what he said about regret when it comes to financial and investing? What do you think he said? He said, do you regret any of the investments that you made? And he said, not a one. Not a one. He goes, so what did you regret? I knew in my gut when something was good and I didn't pull the trigger on something when I could have. Or I knew something was really good and the numbers and the formula didn't make, and I didn't put enough money into it. Wealthiest guy in the world. And that's where he goes with the conversation. So it's really following a really good plan. We're going to talk to you a little bit about a wealth class that's coming to Houston. There is a charge for it and an opportunity. And yet you're going, well, I can't do it. I would tell you, go read these 2 books. And my transparency is my wife and I have looked up and we go, we paid how much in taxes? And paying taxes or protecting your money with tax strategies is not you're not cheating it. You're doing what the government wants you to do with the money. And government wants you to put money over, right? On the right side is where I was going with the supply. The breaks come on this side. Because one is you're providing jobs, or if you're in real estate, you're providing opportunities for people to live. And that's where the protection comes of your money. Okay, great. We got a couple of guests. We got 1 or 2 guests on.
2.
2, great. All right. It's all yours. Take it away. Tell us who you are and the opportunity that you have for us.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. My name is Katie Campbell. I am the community manager for KW Wealth. And I'm so excited to be talking to y'all today. We have our wealth workshop coming to y'all in Houston. And I'm going to run through a couple things that I think you should know. And then if you have any questions, please let me know. And Carolyn's here to also talk with me. So everything that you just heard is so great and can be so impactful on your wealth plan. We have this wealth workshop. It is a complete workshop style class where you dive in and challenge the way that you think about your money, you think about your investments, and you create a wealth plan. This class used to only be available in Austin, so you had to travel there, stay overnight, get a hotel, flight, all of the things. It was $1,000. Carolyn is hosting it for y'all in Houston. We are coming to you, and it is only $297. The feedback that we've received on this class is that it is the best training they've ever been to, the most impactful for their lives, their business. And it's so powerful that Brett himself actually guarantees that you'll have over $10,000 of tax savings, or you can walk up to him and he will give you your money for your ticket back. So what he said in the video is exactly correct. We are going to take 6 hours and sit down and hone in on your finances. We are going to cover different asset classes. We are going to talk about why wealth is important to you, what your exact wealth plan is, how it can impact the people in your world, how your money should be making money for you, how to protect your assets, and how you need to be thinking about taxes with the businesses that we're in and the market that we're in. So we are going to really take a full day to just dive deep. We will have you leave with a checklist of action items. And believe me, we do actually follow up with you to see if there's anything that we can help with or how you're doing on them. We do care. And Carolyn is here. She took this class last year. And so I know she has a great testimony from it too. But I want to tell y'all before I hand it over to her, Brett guarantees at least $10,000 in tax savings from this class. I said that. I hear the feedback from this class all the time as we have now taken it around the country, and we did host it in Austin. The average tax savings is far beyond $10,000. I had somebody get on a call with me a couple of weeks ago. She saved $125,000 on her taxes. If you feel like you are in a good place financially, you have a good wealth plan and you have some investments and you're comfortable and you're not interested in learning anything about that, I would at least come to just hear the tax strategies and to be in a room full of people that are on the same path you are, like-minded and wanting to grow their wealth and their net worth for exactly what was said. Money's good for the good that it can do. So Carolyn, take it away.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Chad, for letting us participate on your call today. I want to reiterate what Chad has said to you so far, which is we have the single best advantage in real estate through what Rich Dad, Poor Dad preaches, through the gospel that we've gotten from Keller Williams that really talks about how we are uniquely positioned to look at every great deal that passes through our hands before it goes to somebody else. And what I used to hear when I heard that was I have the opportunity to try to buy a single family lease and hold, that I can turn around and lease. But in reality, what it is that there are so many different opportunities to earn money and to leverage the business income that you have into other real estate investments. And so I've been a part of the KW system for about 8 years now. And this is the puzzle piece where it finally got laid. And I thought, okay, I get it now. I get it. This is how I can leverage my business income into tax preferred investment vehicles that are essentially exclusive to real estate professionals so that my tax burden is in fact lifted. Now, through this workshop, it was a total paradigm shift for me and my family. I paid the $1,000 to go to Austin for the very first workshop that we had. And I feel so strongly about it that I've been able to help bring some of my friends into the KW Wealth ecosystem as well. It is a community and Katie is the manager of that community. But what I was presented with was the idea of bringing this conference to Houston. And I thought, I know at least 400 other people. I know at least 400 other people in our region could benefit dramatically from this very training. So we've taken the cost down from $1,000 to $297 so that you can learn the exact same content that I paid $1,000 for from Brett himself. And we have taken action as a result of this conference. We've invested in multifamily syndications. We've invested in life insurance, and those tax savings that we're going to get from those syndications when they pay off are in the tens of thousands. And the ultimate goal here is for us to gain financial freedom with the real estate income that we have. The single best advantage that you have of self-employment is exactly what Chad said. You can do as well for yourself as you possibly can, but the way to save money in taxes is to not go spend it on things. It's to invest it in other real estate vehicles, right? So this is kind of taking the best of both worlds, your ability to generate income for yourself, and then to invest it in a way that saves you taxes and marrying them together. So we're going to be in Houston on June 28th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I've just dropped the link into the chat box, but there's also a QR code on the next slide that you can scan to get that link. You're also going to be hearing from Katie and I via email somewhat persistently for the next 3 weeks. But in order to incentivize your participation and registration today, we have a discount code that we'd like to offer you that's good through what time, Katie? It's good
Midnight
through
tonight.
midnight tonight. You can get $50 off of your registration if you sign up today through midnight by using the code Southwest50.
Carolyn, I want to touch on something that you said. A couple things really. The puzzle piece is such a good example. We have people tell us all the time that going to this class is like when you have the border almost finished of a puzzle and you finally put the last piece of the border in place and the whole picture on the front really makes sense. And also, if you listen to what we're saying and you're thinking to yourself, okay, great, but I don't have X amount of dollars to go buy my first rental. I promise you, we will dive into strategies that you can adjust the way that you are spending, the way that you have your money set up, the way that your accounts are set up, and the areas that you didn't even know you could be making money on. We will give you tactical advice on how to set it up so that you can buy your first investment property. And if you're an experienced investor, trust me, we have plenty of content for you as well.
Yes. So if you've got $200 or $200,000 waiting to invest, this is the way to do it. So we want to invite you and we want to offer you today a code that's good for $50 off the registration. So we're here to support you. I'll drop my information in the chat box here, but thank you, Chad, and thank you, KW Southwest, for letting us speak to you today.
Yeah, awesome. Thank
Thank
you guys
you.
so much. All right, good stuff. Any questions?